10th of July 2024. Welcome to today's Daily Motorsport update on the FR Daily channel. And to start off with, I just want to make a quick correction for yesterday. I said that the most likely driver lineup at Audi would be Nico Hülkenberg and Guan Yu Zhou if Valtteri Bottas goes to Mercedes, but it'd probably be Nico and Carlos in the car because obviously Sainz would be considering Audi because, well, first of all, it was Helmut Marko said it was Audi who gave Carlos Sainz the better offer than Red Bull. And second of all, Audi has some very strong potential for 2026, so he would have to spend 1 year as a back marker and then the following year as an Audi factory driver, which is something that it carries a lot of weight with it. So that's a little correction from yesterday. But on to some Formula One news, which is that Toyota is supposedly wanting to return to F1. Now, this is not something that's confirmed. So I'm seeing it. Their report is from Racing News 365. But I think what they claim is that Toyota wants to work with Haas from 2025, which is interesting. We could see Haas Toyota, which very interesting as a sort of building the car parts. I'm not sure exactly how deep this partnership would be or if it's building up to a Formula One team, but I think Toyota as a Formula One team could be a fairly strong contender because the trouble that Toyota had in the 2000s, I should make a video on that for the main channel, but the trouble Toyota had was that the corporate people kept meddling with the Formula One team and kept making them do stupid decisions for commercial reasons, which didn't translate to on-track pace. Now, the way Toyota is run now is they let Gazoo Racing do their own thing, and the result of that is Gazoo Racing is a very, very effective racing outfit. And we've seen that in Dakar, we've seen it at Le Mans, we've seen it in WRC. Toyota Gazoo Racing knows how to make a race car or a rally car fast. So I think Toyota Gazoo Racing F1 is not confirmed, but if they do decide to come to F1, that would be an incredible thing to see, and I hope that this does happen, but the reports are that it would be just begin with a technical partnership with Haas from 2025. And if the rumours are not true, I would very much like to know how do they come up with these kind of things, because 9 out of 10 Formula One rumours don't happen, and I wish I had a mind as creative as some of these journalists, but you never know. It might happen. It seems like a fairly reasonable thing. I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen. But yes, very much unconfirmed at the moment. Now, on to the comments from yesterday's video. Pink Sunsets 3079 says, I know it's not the most followed motorsport, and the fact that it's basically non-news doesn't help, but Kristoffersen's display of utter dominance in Sweden's World Rallycross round was incredible to watch, especially in the wet. Absolutely. Kristoffersen really pulled one out there. I mean, especially with a car that's supposed to be not quite as quick as the electric cars. It was very, very quick, driven by Kristoffersen. Now, I think in the wet, the gap between the petrol and the electric will be smaller because, of course, there's less grip and the electric cars can't use all that low-down torque because it'll just make wheel spin. So I'd say that might explain part of it, but another part of it is the car was driven by Johan Kristoffersson, and he knows a thing or two about driving a rallycross car. Lots of trouble, usually serious, says Perez's performance reminds me of the line once spewed by Josh Revel about Giancarlo Fisichella, outstanding in mid cars and mid in outstanding cars. And Albon, most forgettable, I got to the point I didn't even remember he was in F1. Yeah, that's pretty true about Perez. He seems to be very good in cars which aren't very good, and not so good in cars which are so good. And Albon's pretty forgettable as well. Again, definitely deserving of being on the F1 grid, but I do forget that he exists in most races. RDEC Gaming says, as a Felipe Drugovich fan, I say they out Drugo in the Williams, or put Drugo in the Williams, I'm guessing it. That's a possibility, but when you've got Kimi Antonelli, I think Andrea will get that seat because Mercedes will probably pay Williams to put Andrea into that seat. Piotr Sheshbek says, guess it seems like I can take my last comment about Ricciardo driving for everyone in every series and apply it to Sainz. Also, whoever gets that second Alpine seat better have a good therapist ready. Yes, that is true. Sainz could be going anywhere since he's out of contract, and there is rumours here, there, and everywhere, and we'll only know when the confirmation comes in. Carlos Sainz, and then we'll know whoever gets the second Alpine seat. Yeah, I think the only driver I've seen rumoured for that seat is Sainz, but he's rumoured for every seat, so you can't really say much about that. And David Marachek 1754 says, the way I see it right now, Red Bull, Verstappen and Perez, Ricciardo or Lawson could replace Checo if he continues to perform badly. Yeah. McLaren, Norris and Piastri, Ferrari, Leclerc and Hamilton. Yeah. Mercedes, Russell and Bottas. Bottas with a 1-year contract just to keep the seat warm for Antonelli. Yep, depending on how Antonelli performs in the Williams, of course. Aston Martin, Stroll, unfortunately, and Alonso, of course. Vfart, Ricciardo, and Tsunoda. Lawson is reserved for 1 more year unless Checo is dropped. I'm not sure. If I were in charge of the Red Bull Junior Driver Program, I'd be wanting to give Lawson a seat because they've been messing around with having Lawson as a reserve driver for too long. He deserves an F1 seat, so someone needs to be dropped, and it's going to be either Ricciardo or Perez, I would say. Alpine, Gasly, and Schumacher. Schumacher, that's a possibility, actually, for that empty Alpine seat. That is very much a possibility. Martins or Doohan or Sainz are options that are second for that seat as well. Alpine's second seat is the most random to choose. Yeah. That's definitely the case. Haas, Behrman and Ocon. Yeah, that's pretty likely. Williams, Albon and Antonelli. Yep, that'll be right. Sauber, Hülkenberg and Sainz. Yes, Zhou could keep his seat only if Sainz won't end up at Sauber. Porsche, even though he was quite unlucky with his recent performance, has no chance. Yeah. I've got to say, that seems all pretty right. And as for Jos Capito, as far as I'm aware, all team bosses are quite safe in their positions. I don't know who exactly would sign him. Sure, his previous WRC job at Volkswagen could give him some leverage, but not enough, I'd say. And again, that's I agree with that. I think the only way we'll see Jos Capito in charge of a team in WRC is if we get a new manufacturer coming in. So if we get the Lancia Rally 1 program, then we'll probably have Jos Capito, or if Skoda decides to run a Rally 1 effort, that'll probably be under Jos Capito, I reckon. if we get a fourth manufacturer, Jos Capito will be the guy in charge of that. So that is today's Daily Motorsport update, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get every day's Daily Motorsport update. Thank you for watching.